You're listening to the Loyalty Minute, the show that helps you build better customer loyalty and more valuable user engagement. With your host, Rob Gallo.
Welcome, loyal listeners, to another episode of the Loyalty Minute. I'm your host, Rob Gallo, and today I'm super eager and excited to chat with Brandon Ehrhardt. Brandon leads the Expedia Group platform loyalty program that rewards supply partners who provide the best experience for their guests. Welcome to the show, Brandon. Thanks for joining me.
Rob, thanks for having me. Longtime fan. We've been trying to get this one on the book since I think right when COVID started. So really happy to talk with you and looking forward to the conversation.
Awesome. So normally I read the bio of my guests and kind of give them an introduction, but I read yours. And it's interesting. And the one thing that got me was the open wheel racing. So I'm going to let you do it. So for those who don't know who you are, where you've been, just give them the background of who Brandon is.
Yes. Gosh, thanks so much for having on. I'm happy to talk about open wheel racing anytime. So we're going to get into loyalty too. But first, yes, as Rob said, Brandon Ehrhardt, based in Chicago, Illinois. I'm in Wicker Park. I've been in the travel industry for almost 10 years now. Started with United Airlines, now work at Expedia Group on the loyalty side. But yes, have a passion for open wheel racing. We will be participating in the Indianapolis 500 this Sunday. The team I support is called Cusick Motorsports. Our driver is Stephen Wilson. So the number 25 Gnarly Jerky Chevrolet will be running off 33rd next Sunday. We could only go up from here.
That's good.
Indeed.
That's good.
Indeed.
All right. Yeah, I like I said, I saw open wheel racing, and a couple of years ago, my wife got me a thing for Christmas down here in Palm Beach International Raceway, an open wheel thing. It was a small maybe one, but it was like a 4-speed, and I was banging the gears. It was so much fun.
Yes, you can really throw those things around the corner too. It's a good time.
Yeah, I spun out once, but I was passing people. I was getting flagged for passing people. You're supposed to kind of like follow the line. It was so much fun. But I've been an F1 fan since I lived in Antigua. Probably I moved there in '97. Stayed there for 10 years, and it was big down there. And the guy across the street talked to me about F1, and I had never really followed it. And I probably haven't missed an episode since 1999.
Wow. So you were well ahead of the Drive to Survive Formula One fan crew, because gosh, Formula One and really open wheel racing altogether has just experienced a big boom in popularity from the Netflix series. But sounds like you were well ahead of Netflix, even being an idea or a concept.
Yeah. It used to, before DVRs, even though we had VCRs, but before DVRs, when it was really easy, we would have to wake up at like 2 a.m. to go down to the bar, and there would be a group of people there watching it at 2 a.m. It was
that's awesome. So I was telling you, I was in Indianapolis yesterday. And so the Formula One race was on at 8 a.m. So we were in the garage. I wasn't working on the car. I was watching people work on the car. But we had the F1 race on in the background. It was great because our crew half of them are European. So to them, it was like, okay, this is amazing. Be eating breakfast, working on the dampers of this Indy car. And then there's a Formula One race going on behind us. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm a Ferrari fan because I'm a stockholder in Ferrari.
Okay.
I have been for a number of years, and it was just unfortunate to see what happened with Leclerc yesterday. But for anybody,
a little bit of a power issue, it sounded like.
Yeah, I don't know, just kind of crapped out on him. But
yeah,
anyway, these things happen.
They do.
So let's. I guess that's probably loyalty too, right? I'm loyal to Ferrari, and loyal to F1 as a brand in what it is, and I enjoy watching it. But let me ask you this, and I ask every one of my guests. From your perspective, Brandon, as a consumer yourself, what are some brands that you're loyal to and why?
Oh, great question. So, it's interesting. You bring up the Formula One example and you think about why you become loyal to a brand. And to me, it's number one, the brand excites me. Number two, the brand brings me some sort of joy. Or number three, the brand makes my life easier. So a brand that, I'm really loyal to is Spotify. I'm a huge Spotify listener. To me, them finding music for me has taken a huge challenge out of my life, and it introduces me to new music. Super simple to use. So Spotify would be one. I'm a big fan of Nike running shoes, which is kind of I don't know, bland, but at the same time, like I've always been a big fan of the Air Max. It's weird though when you go back and put on like a pair of like the 95 Air Maxes, how heavy they are. It's like
Yeah,
people ran in these.
I know,
It's
right?
like running with lead weights. And then actually, lastly on the car front, I'm a Porsche loyalist. So yeah, I think we can have our little Ferrari Porsche battle later on. I think Porsche might be joining Formula One next year as is. But yeah, that's a brand that excites me and I think understands like their customer and what their customer's seeking.
Cool. So then, from a business standpoint, let's. You've been with Expedia how long now?
Been with Expedia about coming up on 7 years.
7 years, and you manage the loyalty program for end users.
So here's what I do. I have a really interesting role, and you talk about we're all like consumers ourselves. I have a really exciting job because what I do, I can benefit from. Rather directly. So what we have with Expedia Group is our rewards programs today. So Expedia Rewards, Hotels.com Rewards, Orbis Rewards. And then in the future, next year, we'll be launching One Key, which will be a rewards program across brand Expedia, Hotels.com, and then Vrbo. What I do is I sit just to the left of the brand side, in between the suppliers in our marketplace and the travelers loyal to Expedia. And I go out and source or design the programs that help source, exclusive discounts like members only deals, bonus point offers, or things like free breakfast and upgrades, things we call perks. So I will take what the travelers have told our rewards programs they want, and I will help connect them with the suppliers who want to deliver it and a great experience as well. Because what we found is, you can give someone additional points or a good deal or an upgrade. The whole experience has to be good, right? From the moment you're shopping to the moment that you fill out that review, the hotelier has an opportunity to win loyalty to their own brand through Expedia's brand. So what we want to do is make that easier for them and make it easy for them to reach out to our high value customers, which are Expedia Group loyalty members.
Huh. So Expedia owns Vrbo?
We do. Expedia Group owns Vrbo. We owned HomeAway and Vrbo, and then obviously those became just Vrbo. But yes, we own Vrbo.
Wow.
And and Rob, if you think about it, gosh, so travel is and loyalty programs are ubiquitous now, and there's so many of them. I think I saw a stat that the average person is in almost 15 loyalty programs. 19, yeah. So like depending on the survey, directionally we're on the same page, but only active in like 5 or 6.
Yep.
So what I've found is, if you make a vacation rental booking, let's say you spend $2,000 today, if you're booking on another site or on, really any vacation rental site, there's not a great way to get more value for your money, like additional points. In our future One Key program, the traveler, though, will be able to earn points on that vacation rental booking. They can redeem on a flight, on a car, on a conventional hotel, on another vacation rental booking. So there's going to be a lot of selection. And what we'll be doing for my particular role on the loyalty side for the partners is really connecting the great, hosts and great hotels and properties we have with these like strong customers that book more often, stay longer, have more profitable attributes.
Yeah. Huh. That's smart. That's a smart idea because, I don't necessarily think that points alone are going to make the difference in someone's buying decisions, but they're going to have some sort of thought process behind it saying, and it reminds me of a Seinfeld episode where Elaine is one sub away from a free sub, and Jerry asks her, "How do the subs taste?" They're not that good, but she has to have one because
you gotta have it.
One away.
Well, like we've all done irrational things for loyalty. Like, so, okay, first off, I'm a sustainable person. I'm educating myself as we go, but I will say there was a time late, in December where I took a United flight from Chicago to LA, hopped off, got an In-N-Out burger at the airport, like a block away, got back on the plane, flew back to Chicago so I could get my 1K status. Because to your point, like you're willing to do irrational things because of the benefits. And I think that's like a great sign of a good loyalty program. Not like, hey, did you get on a plane and, waste, your time flying around? Certainly that can be looked at as a little silly, but is the customer acting irrationally to be loyal? And that's when you've got a strong program.
Yeah, that's true. So you think about what's your take on the online shopping mall to earn points that then would be in your frequent flyer miles? Or everyone has one. Hilton has one, and Southwest, and every airline.
Everyone has one, right?
And in fact, American Express did the deal with Plenty, right? It was kind of a coalition, which is a little bit different, rather than shop at many and burn at many. So most of them are shop at many different locations, but burn just in my currency, right?
Right.
So has Expedia ever thought of something like that to create its own currency? Because American Express, after Plenty, I don't want to say crap the bed, but after it blew $100 million and didn't work, they actually ended up doing a deal with Rakuten now, where they have an online shopping portal through Rakuten where people can now earn American Express membership rewards. So has Expedia?
Yes. So as we bring One Key to market, which is going to be like this reimagination of our loyalty programs, absolutely in scope, because more points in the marketplace or the ecosystem is great for the traveler, and more opportunities for them to earn is great. I mean, here's the thing with the shopping earn, because as you said, a lot of people have them. The challenge is it's like you've got to have the timing be right for the customer, and they've got to understand the value of the point. Because you get like the promotional email and it's like, earn 60,000 points for changing your, cable to DirecTV, or for buying flowers for Mother's Day. And you're like,
Right.
Well, like, what is that actually worth to me? Is that like $6? I'm not sure. So you got to make it be intuitive and like be part of the normal person shopping flow. Like I know there was one that I use frequently that is not part of Expedia, but is a different travel company. And I'll occasionally look if I know I have to buy a pair of shoes. Is there anyone that's offering me like 4x points? But when you can get that into the browser experience and it's like automatic and it's not a different website, that's where you're going to start to see a lot of traction. I mean, certainly there's some directional traffic today to those programs, especially with the proliferation of them. But you got to make it easy for the traveler to understand, hey, if what is the incremental benefit to me by using this shopping portal and earning this currency? And I think there's still some opportunity there in the industry.
Yeah. As long as, like you said, it's easy enough and it doesn't detract from the customer's they're on autopilot, generally speaking. You know what I mean? Someone does a Google search, they find something, and it's usually going to result in an Amazon purchase,
yes.
right? There's something that they want, which I think is like a 54% of market share of all online purchases, which is just astronomical. But then, it doesn't stop them from their normal flow of how they would do business. And that's key. So you're right.
Right.
But it's interesting you say that, because there are some opportunities that are out there, and I think maybe we'll take this offline. I don't want to bore our listeners with that sort of stuff. But so let me ask you this then, from a business perspective, the organizations that you deal with, right? What are the challenges that you see that people have when it comes to engaging or working with earning more loyalty points? Like what are the challenges that you see?
From the traveler side, I think it would be so easy to feel like you're just forgotten if you're taking 4 to 5 trips a year, right? So here's, I used to be a road warrior. I would be gone 50 weeks out of the year, and it was really important to me to earn the top status of the airline I was in. And like, obviously was the highest status of the Expedia loyalty program, thankfully. But the challenge I see in the industry is if you look at some of the supplier loyalty programs, and just like a traveler who I would call a frequent traveler, someone who's taken 5 or 6 airplane trips a year, business or leisure, they're not going to earn a meaningful status in many programs, right? And so I think I remember being in college and I like signed up for all the, I've got like a Northwest Airlines loyalty account, which no longer exists. I've got a US Airways account, no longer exists. But you think like, hey, just because I'm part of this loyalty program, I'm going to get something, and that's not true. That's not true at all. So I think what, travelers are saying, okay, there's a loyalty program for everything. You go to Jimmy John's, there's a loyalty program. Yeah. You go to United Airlines, of course, there's a loyalty program, has been for a while. But how do you make the program work for you? And to me, it's 1, you got to understand it. And then 2, you've got to get meaningful value early. So I think that's one of the things that Expedia Rewards and Hotels.com Rewards does a little bit differently, and what One Key will do. I mean, you can start earning significant benefits at what we call 5 trip elements. So think 5 room nights or 5, rental car days or 5 different one-way flights. That's pretty quick. Compare that with a hotel program where you might need 25 nights.
Yeah.
And you can see pretty quickly, you can earn benefits a lot faster. And that's because the suppliers are willing to fund those benefits, because the Expedia Group traveler that is taking 5 or 6 trips a year and is in the top of our, loyalty program is valuable to them from an attribute perspective, whether that's the average daily rate they're booking or how long they're staying, or, when in the booking window they're actually making that transaction. So I think, to me, you've got to connect with folks on the bottom rung and help them get to that second rung and make that first real entry level benefit matter to the traveler. So whether it's a discount, points, or perks, understand the traveler and make it meaningful to them.
Yeah. And I think experience now, someone that has some sort of experiential benefit or reward is better than something tangible from a, just pure value perspective, and a perception of value of giving them something for free, quote unquote, is better than, a widget that they would get in the mail.
Yes. And I mean, I think it even extends a step further. So let's take a hotel example, right? Sometimes you go to a hotel, and let's say you go to a hotel in Indianapolis, where I was this past weekend, and I get a bottle of wine for my loyalty at this hotel in Indianapolis. That's nice. That's a nice thing. I don't know that I went to Indianapolis to go drink a bottle of wine, though. It doesn't really connect. However, if I show up to my hotel and they say, hey, here's the deal. We have, a $25 breakfast credit for you tomorrow. And oh, by the way, we see that, you're in town for the Indianapolis 500. Here is the museum office hours for the track. Here's a tour guide that can assist you and figure out how to get inside the track and get you access. That's something that adds value, right? So there's something that I'm getting that's meaningful to me, like breakfast, generally meaningful for anyone. And then 2, they're actually showing that they want to get to know me as a customer, that they want to have some sort of personalized experience. And I think personalization is going to really unlock a lot for loyalty, because I think we're finding out, maybe we've always known this, we're just all really different as humans. Yep. Same common core, but we all have different wants and needs and things that really make us loyal to a brand. So allowing suppliers to tap into that in the travel space is going to be key. And I think Expedia Group's doing a pretty good job, and we're going to continue to lead that charge.
It reminds me of Jeopardy, because this kind of is the answer before the question. What you just read to me and explained to me is kind of the question of what does the future of loyalty look like for you from a personal perspective and a business perspective. I know you mentioned what's going on with with Expedia itself, but what does the loyalty landscape look like to you as a consumer in the future?
Yeah, so gosh, it's so exciting, and I think COVID was this forcing function that said, okay, for many different reasons, let's pause and figure out what our loyalty programs are doing and what directions we want to take them. And I think across the industry, we've seen a lot of positive change with different programs, and that's fantastic. I think with Expedia Group, here's what we're focusing on. So even before you get something extra, the value for money, we want a traveler to come to the Expedia Group websites and understand, am I getting a great deal? Because it's really hard today, right? You go to any website and you look at 40 hotels, and some of them might have a strike through price, but you're not really sure, am I getting a good deal? Because you haven't you don't have data in your head that says, oh my gosh, last week this was $155 more expensive, you better book it now. Yeah. So we want to make that easier for you, right? And so for the first thing we're going to show you is an offer, is offer strength, right? So we may not display exactly, hey, this is better than it was last week, or this is better than it was 6 months ago, but we will allow you to potentially track the price over time for your shopping dates. And we know our customers, so we're going to move those results higher in the search results, right? So that we know that top 15 properties in a search results result in about 75% of the bookings. So put the good deals up front, because then the traveler is going to get something. But that's only one part. You got to hit the second part too, because as I mentioned earlier, you can give someone 30% off, but if the hotel room's full of cockroaches, you've only got one part of the equation, right? Yeah. So in addition to having travelers experience the scoring on, is this a great deal? What we want to do is actually show them a score saying, we're going to predict your stay at this hotel. And based on other guests, we believe this is going to be, an excellent experience. And I think in the past, there's always been a little bit of, I don't know if I want to call it trust with the marketplace, but people don't understand why the sort rankings are the way they are. We want to make that more clear to travelers and to suppliers. More visibility and transparency in the marketplace is a win for everyone, including Expedia Group. So we're going to help travelers find a great deal, and we're going to help them predict a great stay based on like the millions of data points that we have available to us, and how we can kind of mold that data to make sure the insight is clear to the traveler.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. Data is critical, but without the clear, concise understanding of what the data means to the end user, they're just bombarded with data all day long about statistics.
Exactly. And you don't know how to use it.
Yeah, it has to be simple. It has to be like, oh, okay, I get it. And it's something that they could then kind of move with and say, all right, now I can make a decision based on that. And that's critical.
Exactly.
Listen, I know we could talk about this all day long, but I think we've probably hit our threshold. Most listeners are, listening on a lunch break, and it lasts about 20, 25 minutes in today's day and age.
Yeah, if that.
Yeah, exactly. And people are eating while they're still working. But,
yes.
Listen, I could talk about it forever, but I wanted to thank you for your time and explaining some of the things, and I'm looking forward to see what Expedia comes out with in the future. Does it have its own credit card yet?
So that's going to be part of the One Key. That'll be part of the One Key launch. There are some credit cards that have existed historically. I think with One Key, I got a little sneak peek, and it's exciting. And it's, again, to your point, it's really having all of the different elements of loyalty. So credit card, the actual, core earn on your spend or on your stays, and then allowing you to use retail affiliates to earn points. These are all areas that we're going to be going and really driving towards for Expedia Group. So I'd love to touch base in a year. There's going to be a lot changing as One Key goes to market, and the partner programs that support One Key. So I'd love to connect in about a year, and we could talk about all the amazing changes that travelers can now experience.
Yeah, for sure. Because, it's funny, I'm an American Express loyalist. But when we book on Southwest, we use my wife's Southwest American credit card. It's a Visa, I think, or MasterCard, because she earns extra miles.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? So that definitely has an impact on people's decision-making process. And I think if Expedia Group has that, I would book a Vrbo with an Expedia credit card if I'm going to earn extra points. For sure.
Exactly. And that's the flywheel we want to start turning, Rob. So I'll look for you when that credit card goes live, and we can talk about getting you signed up.
Definitely. All right. Again, I want to thank you for your time, Brandon. I sincerely appreciate it. And I had a great time. I want to thank our loyal listeners for investing some of their valuable time with us. If you feel you received value from the show, please share. This is how we grow. You can listen to the podcast on all your favorite podcast streaming services. To reference this and other Loyalty Minute episodes, please visit theloyaltyminute.com. Thanks, Brendan.
Awesome. Thank you, Rob. Chat soon.
All right.
Thanks for listening. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for your next edition of the Loyalty Minute.